Hello, everybody, and welcome to Virtual Travelscapes, our little web series that Julie and I have been doing. Myself, I'm Rhonda Swehan, Leisure Manager at Paul Travel, and my co-host is Julie Beckdash. Good afternoon, Julie.
Hi, Rhonda, and hi, everybody. Welcome.
We really appreciate everybody taking the time out of your busy day today to escape and explore some amazing countries from around the world. There's so many wonderful destinations to explore, so we're doing this virtually. Why not? We can do it, so let's keep on doing that. We're hoping you're all enjoying and will enjoy today and continue really to inspire or be inspired, I guess I would say, and dream about where you want to go to next. The future is just around the corner, so let's keep on dreaming. So also wanted to kind of let you know, next week, before we kind of get into this week's presentation, we're going to be changing things up a little bit. We're not going to explore just one destination. We're welcoming a small adventure group. They're called G Adventures. Many of you may have heard them. So it'll be a really great way to get a little taste of what they have to offer and the kind of experiences they have. So that's next Thursday, the 19th of November at 4 p.m. So please sign up for that. That would be a really great webinar not to miss. If you haven't seen any of our past webinars, please go onto our Paul Travel website. So that's www.paultravel.com/webinars, and you'll have a list of all of our previous webinars that we've done. So there's 27 of them, so there's lots to choose from. You'll find next week's registration on that website, as well as you'll find it on the newsletter that will come from Paul Travel. If any of you have any suggestions at all, please, email Julie or myself. Let us know, if you've got a country or even an experience that you want to, learn a little bit more about. Let us know. We're happy to potentially showcase that in the future. So today we are visiting Malaysia. Oh my gosh, you know what? There's something I really love about travel, and it's about the memories that you have and that the experiences that create those memories. I was actually kind of, taking a trip down memory lane over the last few days, thinking about Malaysia. It's been over 20 years since I visited Malaysia. Believe it or not, Julie.
Oh.
I can't, and the memories are so vivid in my mind that it's just one of those places that when you go and you experience the culture, the people, it's truly amazing. I have to say some things that stick out of my mind was visiting Borneo and spending a night at a headhunter tribe. Truly felt like I was in an episode of National Geographic. Another memory, maybe kind of on the ick side of things, is my encounter with the rhinoceros beetle. Now, if anybody out there hasn't seen or even knows what a rhinoceros beetle looks like, I suggest you Google it. They're big, they're ugly, and it'll be a memory that'll stick with me forever. But it's truly a great, great country. So I'm excited to showcase this today. So I'm looking forward to bringing this along with Julie. So Julie, I don't know if you've been to Malaysia at all. I can't remember if you said that you had.
I haven't. No, I haven't yet. There's we have some Malaysian friends, and they're just Malaysian wonderful people, and all of the presentations I've been to in Malaysia, it's like really high on my list. So I can't wait to be there. And so that's
Very
great.
Cool. Very good. And just before Julie introduced our special guest, I just want to remind everybody, any questions you have throughout the presentation, please put it in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Any comments you've had, maybe you've been to Malaysia before and experienced a rhinoceros beetle, let me know. Hopefully I'm not the only one out there. So yeah, please do. Any feedback would be great to hear. So Julie, I'll turn it over to you.
Good. Sounds good. I did also have an experience with a rhinoceros beetle, but in Fiji.
Oh, aren't they awful?
They are awful. It came flying at, and it really it does have that horn. So it's funny. So anyways, thank you, Rhonda. And again, today we have with us from the Malaysian Tourism Board, we have Sandra. She's actually been with Tourism Malaysia for 20 years. And she's based in Vancouver. Prior to this, she was just telling me that she worked not always in the travel industry, but she worked for a company that created jingles for commercials, and so she was a producer on commercials for some top agencies in Malaysia. So that's kind of a neat background, Sandra. And then on to travel. So without further ado, I'll pass it along to you. We're looking forward to your presentation, so feel free to take it away.
All right, thank you. Let me share my screen. Hello, everyone. My name is Sandra again, and I'm the marketing officer at Tourism Malaysia, Vancouver. First and foremost, a big shout out to Paul Travel for giving us this amazing opportunity. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. So where in heavens is Malaysia? Well, Malaysia is located right in the heart of Southeast Asia, surrounded by some of our amazing Southeast Asian neighbors, and I'll tell you why I say they are amazing later on. We have a population of over 31 million, very close to Canada's 37 million, but Canada is 30 times larger than Malaysia. And of course, our capital city, our beloved Kuala Lumpur. Malaysia is divided into two parts. Peninsula Malaysia, which is directly south of Thailand and north of Singapore, and Borneo, Malaysia. And on the island of Borneo, we take up the north and northwest parts of Borneo in the way of Sabah and Sarawak, our Bornean states. And we share borders with Brunei, where the richest man in the world lives, and Kalimantan, which belongs to Indonesia. Quick facts about Malaysia. We have average temperatures of about 25 to 35 degrees, summer all year round. We have two seasons, a wet season and a dry season. The wet season runs from mid-November through about mid-February, but only affects the east coast of Peninsula Malaysia and the east coast of Borneo, Malaysia. So we'd like to think of Malaysia as an all year round destination. Official language, Bahasa Malaysia, very much like Indonesian, we kind of understand each other. English is spoken widely. Now, English is compulsory in all national schools. So you'll find that it's spoken at different levels throughout the country. Many of us speak English as a first language at home. Time difference, 12 and 15 hours ahead of EST and PST respectively. Canadians do not need a visa. You can stay up to 3 months without a visa. Just make sure your passport is valid for at least 6 months. Accessibility, we do not have any direct flights from Canada to Malaysia, but these are the various airlines that will get you to Malaysia via various hubs in major hubs in Asia. Transportation in Malaysia, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because there's lots of ground to cover, but when you travel into Malaysia, you will most probably land in Kuala Lumpur. We have 3 hubs, Penang, Kota Kinabalu, and Kuala Lumpur, but of course, most of the international flights will arrive into KLIA, that's our international airport. And from there, the quickest way to get into the city would be the KLIA Express. It is a high-speed train. It takes 28 minutes and it costs only 31 Canadian. It will bring you to our main station. It's KL Central. And KL Central is very much like London Central. You can actually, on your way out of Malaysia, check in for your flight out of Malaysia at KL Central, and then take the high-speed train again to the airport to get onto your flight. KL Central is also where you can get your intercity trains and all your sky trains and rapid transit and what have you that services the whole of Kuala Lumpur and the surrounding areas, as well as the whole of Peninsula Malaysia. The main rail operator in Peninsula Malaysia is KTM Malaysia Berhad, or in English, Malaysian Railways Limited. The main railway lines include the West Coast Line, which will connect you from Kuala Lumpur all the way north to Penang and onward into Thailand. and it'll also connect you from Kuala Lumpur right down south into Singapore. And then there's the East Coast line that's of course the jungle train, they call it, and it connects passengers from the west coast of Peninsula Malaysia to the east coast of Peninsula Malaysia. Of course, there are the branch lines, which include the intercity lines and the trains that will get you throughout the peninsula. Train travel is really, really affordable in Malaysia. Just to give you an idea, a fare from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore would cost you about 42 Canadian each way. And a fare from Kuala Lumpur to Penang, which it'll cost you about 18 Canadian each way. For more information, you can log on to ktmb.com.my for fares, for routes, and all the rest. And if you want to travel in a luxury train, you have to try the Eastern Orient Express. It's a Thai system that runs from Thailand through the Malaysian peninsula into Singapore. Now in Malaysia, it stops in Butterworth off of the northwest coast of Peninsula Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur, our capital city. By road, now we have some amazing roads in Malaysia, not because I say so, but because Malaysia is one of the top producers of rubber in the world. And we all know that rubber is a key ingredient in making some quality asphalt and bitumen, that ingredients that go into making quality roads. So our roads are amazing. Of course, I do not recommend driving in the city. It's crazy. The traffic jams are insane. In Kuala Lumpur, rely on public transport, rely on the rapid transit services that are available. But outside of Kuala Lumpur, definitely drive. The highways are amazing. The signs are in at least 3 languages, if not 2, Malay and English. So, very, very easy to travel by road. I have to mention this because, I think the best way to get us to know the city is to always jump on one of these tour buses. The KL hop-on, hop-off bus is amazing, and it's very, very affordable. The buses will be at designated stops in and around Kuala Lumpur in 20-minute intervals daily between 9 a.m. and 10 p.m. And has a total of 23 designated stops and spans over 40 attractions. So, they have 2 passes, a 48-hour pass and a 24-hour pass. The 48-hour pass is about 23 Canadian, and the 24-hour pass is 17 Canadian. What I normally do is get the 48-hour pass. On the first day, you can scope out your attractions, and on the second day, use it for transportation to check out the various attractions that you want to see in depth. So why Malaysia? Well, let's start from the basics. Well, it's a value for the dollar destination. 1 Canadian will give you about 3.1 Malaysian ringgit. But what does that equate to? Well, 10 Canadian will get you 3 good meals a day. So that's how affordable it is. Secondly, it's one of the safest places in the world to visit. And we give you an endless array of things to see, do, and experience. And these 3 reasons are why, Malaysia makes Lonely Planet's top list of top 10 destinations to visit pretty much every year. So why Malaysia again? Well, Malaysia positions itself as the cultural and eco-adventure hub of Asia. Why? Because Malaysia will bring you cultural diversity and biodiversity. Why cultural diversity? Well, we're home to Asia's 3 main races, the Malays, the Chinese, the Indians, over 20 indigenous races, plus, God forbid, we've been colonized by everybody, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the British. You'll see traces of these throughout the country. And of course, our location. I mentioned we're right in the heart of Southeast Asia, and we have absorbed all the wonderful influences from all our Southeast Asian neighbors. And when I say influences, I don't mean your corner neighborhood Thai restaurant. I know we have lots of that in Canada. When I say influences, there's an island off of the northwest coast of Peninsula Malaysia called Penang. And in Penang, there's one street where on the same street, you'll find a Thai Buddhist temple and a Burmese Buddhist temple right across from each other. And on one side, everybody's Thai. On the other side, everybody's Burmese, and it's right there in Malaysia. And in our little state of Malacca, where our history began, Malacca is about 2 hours south of Kuala Lumpur, we have a Portuguese settlement where everybody's, there's a huge thriving Portuguese community, and you can go there on weekends and enjoy like Portuguese cuisine, and also dance performances put up by the community. And because of this diversity, we say Malaysia is truly Asia. With so many cultures comes food, and more food. Besides the Malay, your Chinese, your Indian food, you have the combination, the fusion foods like the Malay Indian, which is the mama cuisine, or the Malay Chinese, which is the baba nyonya cuisine, or the Portuguese food, or Eurasian food. The combinations are endless. They say if you have a Malaysian meal every day, it would take you a whole year before you have to repeat a dish. And food is the way we show our hospitality. Don't be surprised, like if you meet a Malaysian for the first time, and instead of saying, hey, how are you? They may say, hey, are you hungry? They probably will say that. Hey, are you hungry? Feeding you, helping, inviting you in their homes to share a meal. That's quite common in terms of Malaysian hospitality. And if you ever get fed up of Malaysian food, know that we have our share of McDonald's and Starbucks and KFC, and know that Malaysia prides itself in doing food really well, including international food. The Shangri-La Kuala Lumpur has a French restaurant called Lafitte, and Condé Nast Traveler actually named it the best French restaurant in the world a few years ago. Being home to so many cultures means festivals pretty much all year round. Malaysia has a public holiday in respect of each and every one of her major races. So you can only imagine, we have holidays like, really lots of holidays, and working for the tourism board, I get to enjoy both Canadian holidays as well as Malaysian holidays. So it's all good. Starting from Aidil Fitri, Hari Raya Aidil Fitri, which actually marks the completion of the 1 month long fasting period of Ramadan. And we continue with Chinese New Year, the first day of the lunar calendar, celebrated by our Malaysian Chinese. And the Hindu Festival of Lights, celebrated by Malaysian Hindus. And guess what? This is Diwali, of course, and it's coming up this Saturday, November 14th. So happy Diwali to all who celebrate. And of course, the harvest festivals of Sabah and Sarawak in the way of Kaamatan and Gawai, respectively. And besides cultural diversity, Malaysia will bring you biodiversity both on land and in water. In the water, we are so lucky to be located right on top of the world's coral triangle. This is the world's coral triangle. But what does it mean? Well, this means that Malaysia is home to one of the most biodiverse marine ecosystems in the world. But how does this benefit the traveler? Well, if you want to go diving, you want to go snorkeling, you want to get into any kind of beach activity whatsoever, please think of Malaysia. You won't regret it. I promise you, you won't regret it. Besides that, Malaysia also brings you biodiversity on land. We are so lucky to be blessed with so much, beautiful nature. We are blessed to be located in one of only 12 mega biodiverse regions in the world. We are home to the oldest rainforest in the world. It is 130 million years old, with flora and fauna yet unnamed. 10 square kilometers of Malaysian rainforest has more flora and fauna than the whole of North America and Europe combined. And talking about 130 million year old rainforest, I just came across an article that made reference to dinosaurs, and it said dinosaurs used to roam the earth some 65 million years ago. And just the thought of dinosaurs traversing the rainforest of Malaysia just blows my mind. Crazy. But how does this translate to travel? Well, travelers can go hiking or jungle trekking and come across the largest flower in the world, in the way of the Rafflesia. The largest ones are said to span some 5 feet in diameter, blooms just once a year, and apparently when it blooms, it smells like a rotting corpse. And yet every picture of a Rafflesia I've seen has somebody's face right up to it. You can, during your jungle trek through our rainforest, you may also come across this guy, and you can view him either in his natural surroundings or at the various rehabilitation centers or wildlife sanctuaries throughout the country. But there's nothing like seeing them in their natural surroundings, because, they're in their element, and the experience both of them and yourself will be, profound and amazing. While your adventure through the rainforest, you may also come across this guy. Now, be still my heart. This guy is the stud of the Malaysian Bornean rainforest. apparently in the world of proboscis monkeys, the larger the nose, the more handsome the ladies think you are. So the dominant male has the largest nose, and at any given time has 20 females in his harem waiting for his attention. And during your river safari through the rainforest, you may also come across these guys. Now, you know how people refer to their little dogs as their forever puppies? Well, these are our forever baby elephants, because the full-grown adults are very much smaller than the regular elephants, and they all have baby faces forever. Extremely adorable. So up till now, you know that Malaysia gives you cultural diversity and biodiversity, but what else can we give you? Well, we will give you 4,600 kilometers of coastline, white sandy beaches, warm crystal clear waters that you can bask in forever. And I cannot stress the word warm more than ever, because, you know, it just gives me such a kick when I take travel writers and travel agents back to Malaysia, and they go in the water and they go like, oh my God, it feels like bath water, and I can stay in here forever. And we also have over 878 islands, many of which are still uninhabited. Besides that, Malaysia will also give you a huge array of outdoor adventures, you know, ranging from jungle trekking to whitewater rafting to mountain climbing to zip lining. Rest assured that if it's in tropical weather and it's outdoorsy, Malaysia will have it. For travelers in search of UNESCO World Heritage Sites, Malaysia has 4, Georgetown and Malacca for its cultural diversity and heritage and history, and Kinabalu and Mulu National Parks for their pristine biodiversity, and of course, Lenggong Valley for its contribution towards priceless archaeological finds. Besides that, Malaysia also gives you sustainability and conservation. We are one of the world's leaders in the way of conservation and sustainability, and Canadians are great. They love it when they know they're somehow giving back to Mother Nature, somehow contributing to the community, and somehow treading on the earth lightly. One of our more important and one of our more popular conservation efforts is our wildlife rehabilitation centers. What these centers do is they rehabilitate captured wildlife, and they nurture them back into the wild. And every visit to these centers will ensure that the wonderful animals do not go extinct, and that these centers get to continue the good work that they're doing. You know, another way to give back is by participating in a homestay program. Homestay in Malaysia is not like billeting in other destinations. Homestay in Malaysia is a government-assisted program for the rural communities in Malaysia. So when you go into a homestay, you eat like them, you dress like them, you become part of the family. And some people have even chosen to get married in a homestay. And if you do that, the whole village gets together to prepare your wedding feast. And of course, the whole village attends because, you know, they're family. And last but not least, volunteerism. There are many volunteer opportunities in Malaysia, ranging from replanting of trees, save the turtles, replanting of coral, wildlife rehabilitation centers. In fact, I was back in Malaysia for training some years back, and was at the Sepilok Orangutan Rehabilitation Center when I met a Canadian lady who used to volunteer her services at the Toronto Zoo. She was there. She had a baby orangutan in her arms, and she was volunteering herself at the nursery at the Sepilok Rehabilitation Center. And besides that, our conservation efforts, Malaysia will also bring you some amazing resorts. Everything from over-the-water villas to treetop cabins in the rainforest to resorts fashioned after ancient palaces to one that's designed after a German village that I came across. I've included a few slides to talk to you about over-the-water villas because we have received numerous requests for information on over-the-water villas. The next 3 are located in off of the east coast of Sabah, Malaysia, and Borneo. I'm going to start off with the Sipadan Kapalai Beach Resort. And then there's the Sipadan Water Village Resort. Just gorgeous, right? All facing the South China Sea. And then there's the Mabul Water Bungalows, also off of the east coast of Sabah, Malaysia, and Borneo. It's a luxury resort. And now I take you to the west coast, and this is the Lexus Hibiscus. Okay, it is located in a beach called Port Dickson on the west coast of Peninsula Malaysia along the Straits of Malacca. It is in the Guinness Book of World Records for the highest number of swimming pools in one resort. They have over 643 swimming pools because each and every villa has their own pool. So crazy, right? And also they're in the Guinness Book of World Records for the highest number of water villas in one resort. And they have over 522 chalets, water chalets. And I had to include this one. My God, it's so beautiful. Rustic on the outside and luxury all the way on the inside. True to the Ritz-Carlton brand. It's luxury all the way. This is located in Langkawi, off of the northwest coast of Peninsula Malaysia. Okay. And, you know, when travel returns, people are going to want to make their trips worthwhile. They're going to want to, like, you know, create memories that they will treasure for years and years. And they will want to get into some very unique experiences. And I'm going to share a few with you right now. Why not, you know, conquer the highest peak in Southeast Asia in the way of Mount Kinabalu. And in so doing, you will conquer the highest via ferrata in the world. If you do not know what a via ferrata it is a series of metal rungs and ladders and suspension bridges that will help you scale the mountain. The via ferrata at Mount Kinabalu is in the Guinness Book of World Records as the highest in the world. They are run by a company called Mountain Torque, and they offer two routes, one for the established climber, and when they say a 10-year-old can do. So it's very, very, very doable. Besides that, why not dive in one of the best dive spots in the world in the way of Sipadan off of the east coast of Peninsula Malaysia, east coast of Sabah, Malaysian Borneo, rated by dive professionals as one of the world's best in numerous dive categories. And for the intrepid traveler, if you really like rugged adventure, definitely try conquering the pinnacles of Mulu, Sarawak, Malaysian Borneo. You know, for a whimsical experience, check out Malaysia's Sky Mirror. This is located in a beach called Sasaran Beach, Kuala Selangor, which is about 45 minutes out of Kuala Lumpur. It is a natural phenomenon that is best experienced twice monthly on the new moon and the full moon, respectively, which is really basically the 1st and 15th of the lunar calendar, 1st and 15th of the month of the lunar calendar. When this during these times, you know, that when the tide is just right, this hidden sandbar will kind of reveal itself at Sasaran Beach, creating a glassy mirror-like surface, quite like the Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia. Makes for some creative Instagram-worthy photography. For another whimsical experience, check out the Blue Tears of Tusan Beach, Miri, Sarawak, Malaysian Borneo. Blue tears is a natural phenomenon caused by bioluminescent phytoplanktons, which glows blue when disturbed by waves as they hit the beach. Now, you can take a walk in these blue tears and take lots of photos of your neon footprints. And if you're into social media captions at all, you can actually say, hey, I left my neon footprints in the Blue Tears of Tusan Beach, Miri, Sarawak, Malaysian Borneo. And if you can't swim like me, and therefore you can't dive like me, you want to try this. Sea walking. Now, sea walking is available off of the coast of Sabah, Malaysian Borneo, off of Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, Malaysian Borneo. And sea walk, what it is, it's like they put a 50-pound helmet that sits on your shoulders. You don't feel a weight because, you know, you're in the water. And ladies, you'll be pleased to know your hair and makeup stays dry. They will lower you 15 feet onto the seabed, and you'll be interacting with marine life that's all around you. It's just amazing. I tried this. It's super amazing. And there's a variation of this as well called scuba doing. Same thing with the helmet, but a little bit more fancy because you'll be sitting on a water scooter and skimming the seabed and interacting with amazing marine life. And why not try coral flying? This is the longest island-to-island zip line in the world. It is 250 meters long, and it will zip you from Sapi Island to Gaya Island, both off of the northwest coast of Sabah, Malaysian Borneo. And, imagine just flying over the crystal waters of the Tunku Abdul Rahman Marine Park and actually being able to see coral reef from, having an aerial view of the coral reef and having unobstructed views of the South China Sea and on the surrounding islands. That's crazy amazing, right? Besides that, for a more nostalgic experience, ride the Malaysia's jungle train. This is a long train ride. It's about 10 and a half hours, but people do it mainly for the experience. I mean, a lot of the locals will use it for transportation between the west coast of Peninsula Malaysia and the east coast of Peninsula Malaysia because of its affordability. But the experience is amazing. You will get a nice view of the Malaysian rainforest. This train meanders through the 130 million year old rainforest and covers the Malaysian countryside. So a great experience, and you'll be viewing our natural surroundings from the comfort of your air conditioned train coach. And it's really inexpensive. If you want to sleep through the whole experience, you can get a berth at Canadian $40. And if you want the whole experience and enjoy the view and the natural surroundings of our rainforest, then, go for the regular seats, which range from 10 to 15 Canadian, depending on the class. 15 Canadian will put you in first class. So it's really affordable and a great experience. One of our Canadian writers actually experienced this, and she went there, met a bunch of local Malaysian ladies, and they invited her to share their lunch with them. And she had an amazing time. They shared beautiful stories of Malaysia with her, and she said it was the best experience ever. And the 10 and a half hours just went really quickly. If you want more nostalgia, you have to try this. The North Borneo Railway, and this is available in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, Malaysian Borneo. It is a half-day tour in a retro-styled railway carriage pulled by a classic British-made Vulcan steam locomotive. Now, there are very few of this left in the world. The cost is about 112 Canadian. But it includes breakfast and a tiffin carrier lunch. What is a tiffin carrier? Well, it's a multi-tiered container. And of course, each tier will include, various dishes. Like one may carry your rice, and the other may carry a vegetable, and the other may carry a meat. It's really cute and a very cool experience. Besides that, I have to bring attention to our nightlife. Many people consider Malaysia a very conservative country, and to an extent that's true, but it does not mean that we do not know how to party, and it does not mean that Malaysians are not cool. We are totally cool. What you see in the picture is what they call a lifestyle complex. And besides these lifestyle complex, we have clubs all over the country, especially in big cities like Kuala Lumpur. This particular lifestyle complex is called TREC, T-R-E-C, which stands for Taste, Relish, Experience, and Celebrate. Simply put, it's a mall of entertainment outlets, a mall of clubs. If you want to go club hopping, you just have to go to one place. And it covers everything. It caters to everyone. There are family type restaurants where, the whole family, including kids, can go to. There is a wine bar for a quiet couples night out. There is a jazz bar, an R&B bar, a country and Western bar. There is a discotheque if you want to dance the night away. It's crazy. And it's so amazing. I got to visit this place, and it is truly amazing. The clubs in Malaysia, they're open till about 3-4 o'clock in the morning. It's crazy. And even on weekdays, I don't know how people do it, but they do. They go to clubs until the wee hours in the morning and go to work the next day. It's crazy, So we work hard and we play even harder. And while I'm on the subject of cool Malaysians, I just wanted to, share this little tidbit with you. You may know these names. Michelle Yeoh is Malaysian, and she, of course, is in Star Trek Discovery and, Crazy Rich Asians. She hails from a town called Ipoh in the Malaysian Peninsula. And then there's Henry Golding, who's half Malaysian, and his mother is from Sarawak, Malaysian Borneo. And of course, there is Jimmy Choo, and Jimmy Choo has such a cool story. He was actually a son of a poor cobbler, and he hails from Penang in Malaysia. And he had aspirations of becoming a designer, a shoe designer, a fashion designer. And his father couldn't afford to send him to college. So his father said, well, I can only afford the airfare. So he went to London, worked as a janitor in the school by night, and went to school by day. And when he became big and famous, he actually bought the school. He became famous after the late Princess Diana actually bought one of his shoes, and a pair of his shoes. And like after that, of course, everyone in Hollywood had to have a pair of Jimmy Choos. And his name is still big today. He has sold the brand, but he is still a tourism ambassador for Malaysia. And the next person I'm about to share with you is someone you will not know, but he is the creator of the Intel Pentium signature, the da-da-da-da, composed and created in Malaysia by a Malaysian named Aubrey Suito. So that's a little tidbit that, might be news to you. And now, I'd like to bring you up to date on where Malaysia is at with COVID-19 and how we're moving forward during this pandemic. Malaysia is among the top 5 nations globally to have successfully contained COVID-19. And how did we do this? Well, good leadership for one. Our Director General of Health, Dr. Noor Hisham, has been hailed as one of the top 3 in the world in his fight against COVID-19 after Dr. Anthony Fauci in the US and Dr. Ashley Bloomfield in New Zealand. Good leadership is not enough, In true Malaysian spirit, the Malaysian people got together, they adhered to the movement control orders put in place, and they worked with the government to ensure that the curve was flattened. And last but not least, transparency, which has been paramount in Malaysia's efforts to contain COVID-19. Malaysia is now in recovery mode, and domestic tourism has been thriving since early June. And before we actually went along with domestic tourism, and before we actually launched domestic tourism, standard SOPs were put in place throughout the industry, starting from our airports, to our airlines, and our airlines, of course, has been very stringent in terms of SOPs, mandatory face masks, temperature screening, regular disinfection of aircraft, sanitization of baggage, PPE for all crew, crew trained on SOPs and safety protocols, aircraft equipped with a new HEPA filtration systems to get rid of 99.99% of airborne contaminants like bacteria and viruses. And of course, our hotels, they have launched the Clean and Safe Certification Program, where member hotels are required to follow strict protocols to adhere to acquire certification. They actually have hired the Malaysian Association of Hotels has actually hired an international audit firm to do spot checks on these hotels. And when they're completely satisfied that these hotels have adhered to all criteria, then and only then will they be given the certification. Besides our hotels, our inbound operators, the Malaysian Association of Tourism and Travel Agents introduced the Sanitized Travel Initiative that includes stringent SOPs, and now the domestic travel is getting back on track. Malaysia is looking into a travel bubble plan between the green zones of Malaysia and select destinations in the Asia Pacific region. We are planning to launch this in the first quarter of 2021 with overland travel between Malaysia and Thailand, Malaysia and Singapore, Malaysia and Indonesia, and Brunei. And then we will continue in the second quarter of 2021 with the rest of the destinations that you see on this list in the Asia Pacific region. And as the world anticipates, that semblance of normalcy again and the return of long-haul travel, please note that Malaysia is hoping to welcome international travelers by the end of the second quarter of 2021. But until then, please keep safe, healthy, and please be kind to one another and know that Malaysia awaits you. I'm going to leave you with a short 2-minute video that pretty much summarizes what Malaysia is all about. So here goes. Okay, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. For more information, you can log on to www.malaysia.travel if you want to, download brochures and what have you. Like us on Facebook, malaysia.travel.ca, and in the US at Tourism Malaysia US. So if you have any questions, we're open to questions now.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sandra. I feel like almost speechless because I have butterflies from all of the amazing footage and just all the things to see and do. So thank you so much. That was an excellent, excellent presentation. Just have a couple of questions, but if anybody else has any comments or questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It's just awesome. A couple of questions. One of them was just regarding, so the food is fairly inexpensive, as you mentioned. How would you say accommodations are in relation? I know it depends if you're staying at the Ritz or the Lexus Resort, but is it pretty affordable as well?
Accommodations is extremely affordable, and the thing is, it ranges anywhere from no star to 5-star. And the thing with Malaysia is, even if you go into a 2-3 star facility, it's not like gross, it's not scary, really. And basically, you don't want to spend a lot of money because all you're going to use these places for is to sleep. I mean, there are some resorts that will give you the whole experience, like the ones I've shared in my presentation, but then there are accommodation in Malaysia that's really, really affordable, ranging from as low as $10 Canadian. So, and it'll get you some amazing stays at some pretty cool places. Like when I go back, personally, I like to stay around the KL Central area because of the convenience. I can jump on the trains to go all over Kuala Lumpur, and and the hotels there are so inexpensive as well. So. Mm-hmm. And the last time I think I paid some 18 Canadian or something a night. So
wow.
Yeah, it was a 3-star. It was very, very clean. Really, the service was fantastic. So
yeah, which is good enough for
mm-hmm.
I was going to ask you, so the hike of Mount Kinabalu, is that just one day? You get up early in the morning and then you can do that, go up and back?
Like for the established climber, usually it takes about a few days, and they plan for it because that's like a real hike up the mountain. And then there's like I said, and then the ones that 10-year-old can do, that's easier, right? So yeah. But usually it's best to go with these companies to help them prepare you for the trip.
Okay, perfect. And then can you just describe, I know you talked about the homestays, just maybe what some feedback and what experiences are like for guests that have come back from those?
Yeah, they love it because in fact, we have a group out of the University of Nova Scotia. Every year, a whole group of students from the University of Nova Scotia, they go to Sabah, Malaysian Borneo on a homestay excursion, and they love it. They go in there, it's because every village has a different experience. Like if the village is into fruit orchards, that's what you will learn how to do, that would be the best. Of course, you enjoy the local fruit and what have you. And, they'll teach you how to cook. They'll teach you how to prepare local meals, whatever the trade. If it's in a rubber plantation, they'll teach you how to tap rubber, that kind of thing, right? So it's really, really cool, and very, very, very affordable.
Excellent. Okay. And so, and how many nights would you say on average just at those homestays?
With homestay, you can do like a day trip, or because it's going to somebody's home, right? And it's traditional. So, it's a great experience. Some people may not be totally comfortable with a few days, but I know many are, they don't have a problem at all. You can go for a day trip, or, the typical homestay experience would be a 3-day, 2-night thing. And you can also, you mentioned the longhouse. You can also do a homestay in a longhouse, if you want like a real rugged adventure. There are many longhouse facilities as well that offer homestay.
Okay, perfect. And then so to get a full experience in Malaysia, how long would you recommend allotting to spend in Malaysia?
I would say close to between 10 to 14 days,
Okay.
to at least cover a lot of ground. Like, Malaysia is a very small country. I mean, Peninsula Malaysia is about the size of Vancouver Island. So
Okay.
twice of that makes the whole of Malaysia. So,
Perfect.
it's a small country and we can travel, like even, traveling from the whole like east coast of Peninsula Malaysia to the west coast of Peninsula Malaysia. It only takes a few hours, not like from, Vancouver to Halifax that takes the whole day, to get across. So it's really a very tiny country and you can cover a lot of ground. There's a lot to see and there's a lot to do, but like, 2
Okay.
weeks would be the minimum, really.
Okay. Okay. That's a great question. Thanks, Dave. Is there anything that somebody's asking about, the music festivals. Are there plans for those to continue in 2021 that you know of?
Well, I think they're moving forward cautiously. First and foremost, if there are movement orders put in place, then the Malaysian people as a whole, throughout the country, will have to adhere to those orders. But like, the economy is slowly opening up, and as tourism opens, yes, the music festivals will open with moving forward cautiously with the proper distancing and all the SOPs put in place. Just on the subject of music festivals, we have a Canadian connection. The Rainforest Music Festival in Sarawak, Malaysia, and Borneo was actually founded and started by a Canadian musician who lives in Vancouver. His name is Randy Rainrouche. He actually went into Sarawak, went into the jungles of Borneo, and actually met up with the tribes, the Orang Ulu, they call them, and he brought the chieftain out and encouraged him to start playing again. And he learned he has every single traditional instrument in his home, and he plays every single one of them. He knows all about it. So, and the Rainforest Music Festival in Sarawak usually happens in July every year, and they attract like traditional musicians from all over the world, Canada included. So
amazing. Just for I know you're using the acronym SOP, just for those people that not sure what SOP, probably because we talk about it a lot, but that's the safety. What does that O stand for?
Well, it stands for Standard Operating Procedure.
Operating procedure. Okay.
And it's everywhere you go, not just the travel industry, but also like in shopping malls and everywhere you go, to protect people.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good. If there's any other questions, feel free to let us know. Rhonda, did you have any comments? Or it was probably so nice going through that.
It was, yeah, it brought back a lot of memories, and again, revisiting, and there's so much more for me to go and explore again. I really want to go back. It was such a great presentation. Thank you so much, Sandra. And I just have to tell everybody out there, Sandra had mentioned about a homestay at the Longhouses. That's where I actually experienced a headhunter tribe in the middle of the jungle in Borneo. And it was like a homestay that we spent one night. I always kind of comment, it was like the worst night of my life, but the best night of my life. I didn't sleep at all, but it was such a cool experience. And you just, there's not many places in the world you could do that. So if anybody's out there wanting kind of something unique and different, definitely do that for sure.
Really authentic.
Yeah, very, very authentic.
Just one other question that came up, Sandra. It's getting jewelry made is that pretty inexpensive? And can you buy pearls in Malaysia?
Yes, you can. Comparatively, of course. I mean, like, if you want to get custom made anything like in Canada is super expensive, but like in Malaysia, people do that. Yes, you can custom make jewelry. Most of the jewelry stores will customize for you. And of course, pearls, you can find pearls everywhere, even in the shopping malls. I mean, my sister's crazy about pearls. The last time we went back to Malaysia, she just went nuts because it's so unaffordable. It's so affordable. Sorry.
Okay, perfect. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, that's really great. I'm sure if anyone was, curious about Malaysia, it's definitely on the list now because of just so much to see and do. And I think the one thing about it is people who've been keep saying is that how lovely the people are. And it's, it's one thing, there's all the things to see and do, but it's the people that really kind of make a place come alive, and just you feel a connection to it. So yeah,
Absolutely.
you have to
Absolutely.
go to
I mean, like with repeat customers, with repeat travelers to Malaysia, that's always been the case. I mean, when we talk to Malaysia people and ask them like why they like Malaysia, you know, we have so much to offer in terms of tourist destinations and products, but they will always say it's the Malaysian people that they, you know, will go back for again and again. So
That's
Very
wonderful.
true.
Love that. Good. Well, thanks again, just for keeping us dreaming and learning about new places to explore once this is all going back to normal. So good luck with everything. And we thank you again so much for your time. And we just appreciate all the effort you put into this, and just sharing your country with us. So
thank you.
yes, and thanks everyone who joined us today. We look forward to seeing you again and serving you in any way possible. So feel free to keep in touch, and we hope to see you soon.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night. Thanks, Sandra.
Thank
Good night,
you.
everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye.